Welcome back. This is Patricia with Breakthrough Parenting. We covered in first part of lesson 1 the 3 different parenting styles: permissive parenting, authoritarian parenting, and breakthrough parenting. And we touched on the difference between discipline and punishment. I want to pick up from there and expand a little bit further on that. So, discipline again is to teach by showing our children how to assume responsibility, and punishment is to control by using psychological or physical pain. So we literally cause psychological or physical pain in order to control the children to do our will. So, surprisingly enough, discipline can only be effective when a child is receptive to hearing what the parent is teaching, because remember, it is teaching, and we're going to talk more about that in communication, and that in lesson 4 we'll talk about communication and setting a stage where people are receptive to take the message that we have to give. Parents need to have a little bit more patience and not wanting to jump in and fix things right away. Sometimes we need time to process emotions, and that's why when there's a situation that may require discipline, and when we say discipline is only effective when the child is receptive to hearing what the parent has to say and teach, we must make sure that we allow the child to process whatever feelings that they have so that they will be receptive to get our message, because that's what it's all about. So we need to take some time. Surprisingly, it can strengthen a bond between the parents, and it also helps the child develop inner control, which we're going to go into more on the benefits of that. And it promotes confidence and a healthy self-esteem. And a healthy self-esteem, we're going to go into a lot of detail in lesson 3 on how to build and maintain a healthy self-esteem. And that helps our children bully-proof and gives them confidence to try things and not be so afraid of making mistakes. So if we use discipline, we build a positive self-esteem. If we use punishment, we erode their self-esteem. So, and they lack confidence. So which outcome do you want? Do you want children with a healthy self-esteem, or do you want children with a negative self-esteem? Do you want to control your children and have them totally obedient and afraid to not be doing what you want all the time, and so denying their true self and the ability to make their own decisions? Or do you want a child that learns some inner control and starts to gain trust and confidence in their decision-making process? And it really, really does stem a lot from using discipline or punishment. Because remember, discipline, you come out and you have a positive effect after the relationship, a strengthening, whereas punishment, both parties very likely, and definitely the child, is going to feel bad about themselves. So I really want you to think about that, and I want you now, when you're moving forward, between now and when you come back, or now just moving forward, think about when you have an interaction with your children. Did you discipline or did you punish? Because when you punish, the child learns not to trust their inner process and to allow themselves to be controlled by a power outside of themselves. So right now you're trying to control them, but when they get older and they get out there, you think about raising young women that are going to be controlled by men or bosses or whatever. So it's not conducive to raising leaders. So depending on the degree and frequency, punishment leads to resentment, revenge, and passive-aggressive behaviors. It also halts creativity and the ability to develop tools to solve problems independently. It does not contribute to producing a psychologically healthy child. It matters very much how we package our gifts, skill, and knowledge to give to our children. If the package is critical and punishing, your children will not want to receive your gift. If you package your wisdom in loving ways, your child will be more eager to learn from you. Throughout history, many people were uneducated and struggled to survive, and they were exploited, and power was hoarded by those who had it. People who were told how to act and think, and there was no one to stop a ruler who misused their power. People haven't always had human rights, but today we take it for granted that people have a right to design their lives in a way that will make them happy. So you think about it. You feel you can make decisions in regards to how you want your life. Why are many parents not allowing children to have a say in how they're going to design their lives? Now, it may start as simple as with a 2-year-old. Do you want to brush your teeth or put your pajamas on first? See where we're giving them a choice? And slowly we let them build on that. And because they had to think about that. We need to develop children who have the ability to be good thinkers and lifelong learners committed to making the world a better place. As our role, and you want to think about this, as our child's steward, we need to prepare our children for a very different future than the one that we had. Because when they spread their wings, they will be flying in uncharted territory. And in order for our children to be successful, they will need to be adaptive, creative, and quick to learn new things. And they must be able to work with others in resolving problems. So because we now live in a global economy, they will need strong relationship skills in order to be socially responsive to people who are very different from themselves. Today's children will need to know themselves, which means they need to develop a high degree of self-esteem. They must also be in touch with their feelings and respond to them in appropriate ways. And this will require inner direction. And we're going to talk more about developing feelings vocabulary to help them be able to express their feelings. When children are too young to be fully responsible, parents look after their affairs. Parents counsel children about the best way to do things and provide many experiences to help children consciously make choices and learn how to accept the consequences of those decisions. This helps children become good problem solvers and decision makers while still being supervised. Because remember, we allow them to make decisions while they're younger. Because once they, if we're teaching them how to do it, we're teaching them how to be good decision makers and allowing them with small ones so that if they make a mistake, it's not huge. Because we cannot control them forever. We're not going to be there. And you think about when they're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and they're outside of our realm, and they're out there making decisions that we do not have any control over. We want to, at the very least, have had some influence in helping them to learn how to make responsible decisions. So that's why we want our children to become good problem solvers and decision makers while being supervised. As you, a steward, you help your children grow up in charge of their destiny. We're helping them grow up in charge of their destiny, a destiny that the stewards cannot fully predict. We cannot predict where they're going to go. We're just there to help them. That's why a steward pays attention to help children develop qualities such as being eager to learn new things and being adaptive, emotionally well-adjusted, skillful, and socially responsible. We are teaching our children how to function for themselves. We're teaching them to be responsible, independent adults that are going to make an excellent contribution to society. When children behave consistently with the principle, I alone am responsible for my thoughts, feelings, and behavior. They will have attained self-mastery. And we too are responsible for our thoughts, feelings, and behavior. So on that note, I'm going to leave there. And then next lesson, we're going to talk about moving from being outer directed to inner directed, and the victim syndrome, and of course about positive thoughts, and a couple of other little things about controlling versus influencing our children. So until next time, think about whether you are disciplining or punishing your children. See you then.